Welcome to Eagle Talk. I am Ben Vahey, and with me is Jonathan Goehring. Today we got a jam-packed show for you. We got the Section 5 football playoffs getting underway, Brockport football taking on Buffalo State in the I-90 Bowl, and we even head to the Blue Cross Arena for some Rochester Americans and even RIT hockey action. But first, let's kick it off with high school football. Third-seeded Hilton Cadets opened up sectional play against the Penfield Patriots Friday night. First quarter, game tied 7-7. Sean Myers takes the handoff and runs it into the end zone. Hilton up 14-7. Second quarter now, Penfield answers back. Luke Condon takes the pass and runs it all the way downfield past the Hilton defense for the touchdown. This game is all tied up once again, this time 14-14. Fast forward to the third quarter now. Hilton quarterback Ryan Butts passes it off to Marquise Powell for the 60-yard touchdown. Hilton would run away with it as they are moving on, 35-14, the final. Hilton will play McQuaid this Saturday night at the College at Brockport.
In a big 5 versus 4 seed matchup, Fairport and Pittsford battled it out Saturday night at Pittsford Sutherland High School. Fairport looking sharp here in the third quarter. On defense, Inome Kessingen strips the ball from Matt LaRocca, and Fairport's Ryan Darien returns the fumble for a touchdown. Fairport misses the extra point but leads 13-7, but Pittsford would tie it up though in the fourth. Levante Bonds with the touchdown. Game tied 21-21. We then head to overtime. Fairport gets first possession. Cochia scores from the 5 but misses the extra point. 27-21. Fairport leads. Pittsford still has a chance though, and on fourth down, the last play of the game, Matt LaRocca hands it off to Clyde Williams, who runs it in for a touchdown. Extra point, it's good. Pittsford wins 28-27, and that's your final.
Pittsford will get the winner of this game, Aquinas versus Edison, Saturday at the College at Brockport. First quarter, Aquinas gets on the board first. Will Benjamin takes the handoff and runs it past the Edison defense for the touchdown. The Little Irish go up 7-0. And then later in the quarter, Aquinas continues to roll from there. Tyler Sikowski tosses it into the air to Kobe McNair for the touchdown. Aquinas would roll in this one, 35-8, the final. The Little Irish move on to take on Pittsford Saturday.
Now we will shift to college football. Brockport Golden Eagles and quarterback Joe Germinario, they're looking to make history.
And how did they do, John?
Let's find out. Brockport football looking to win the I-90 Bowl, and Joe Germinario looking to break the all-time passing record versus Buffalo State. First quarter, Germinario finds Hubbard for an 83-yard touchdown. Brockport is up 14-0. Then the defense would pick up a sack to add 2 more points with a safety in the second quarter for the Golden Eagles. And then Germinario hands it off to Samborski, who runs it in for the touchdown. Brockport cruises in the I-90 Bowl to a 65-7 win. And it's also worth noting in this game that Joe Germinario passed Joe Skibilia for the career passing yards with 6,701 in the I-90 Bowl, making him one of Brockport's best, if not the best of all time. And the Golden Eagles, up next, they're going to travel to Utica to take on the Pioneers this Saturday.
Very, very good.
Kickoff scheduled for 2 p.m.
Definitely. John, that's amazing. Good thing to see today.
Absolutely.
But that's not all. Let's head down to Alfred now, because Brockport football's Tyree Brown caught a one-handed touchdown at Alfred last week. Our photographer, Emily Butterazzi, was there to get the video. What a grab for Brown. He had 5 touchdowns that game. Brockport defeated Alfred 52-0. Brockport scores to pass along. The Brockport volleyball team has clinched a playoff spot with wins over Oswego and Oneonta this past weekend. They will now travel to Carnegie Mellon for a non-conference tournament this upcoming weekend before they begin the SUNYAC playoffs. And the women's soccer team is hoping to clinch a playoff spot. Well, they did manage to beat Oswego Friday 2-1 by an overtime goal by Krista Statt. They still need to stay in the hunt by beating Cortland. Let's send it to Cortland to see just how they did. Brockport trying to keep their playoff hopes alive as they take on the Cortland Red Dragons. After a scoreless first half, we head straight to the second half when Cortland's Sydney Reeves shoots the ball from 30 yards out, and Brockport goalie Kimberly Lubanski, what is she doing? She just can't hang on to it. The ball crosses the goal line, and that turns out to be the game winner. Brockport is eliminated from playoff contention after falling to Cortland 1-0 to final. The team plays their final regular season at home Tuesday at 3 o'clock versus Alfred.
The men's soccer team, however, did clinch a playoff spot and will be the number 3 seed. They will host number 6 seeded Plattsburgh Saturday at 1 p.m., but they were in action over the weekend as well. The College at Brockport men's soccer team hosted SUNY Oswego Friday afternoon. First half, Brockport gets on the board first. Ayub Jelani takes the bounce from Jason Hayes into the back of the net. Golden Eagles take an early 1-0 lead. But then, later in the half, Oswego, they're not done yet. They're coming back. R.J. Nickel takes the pass from Caleb Asamoah. And what a goal for the Lakers. Oswego ties up the game 1-1 score. That would stay that way until halftime. Second half, now the Lakers looking to go ahead, and they get the shot they need. Anthony Paris with the header. What a goal. This is stunning to watch if you are a Brockport fan. Oswego takes down Brockport, handing the Golden Eagles their first SUNYAC loss, 2-1 the final. The team also fell 3-2 to Cortland Saturday, but they have already clinched a playoff spot, luckily for them.
Yes, they have. But that's not all, though. We're going to do a big shift change here, though. We are now heading to the Blue Cross Arena, where Friday the Amherst hosted the Toronto Marlies, and Saturday RIT played their annual homecoming game. How did they do? John, let's send it to you to talk about the Amhersts.
The Rochester Americans, they were home Friday night hoping to get a win over the defending Calder Cup champion Toronto Marlies. First period, Amherst get on the board first. Danny O'Regan with the goal as he gets knocked down. Rochester up 1-0. Later in that same period, the Marlies looking to answer. Sam Gagner finds Pierre Engvall for the goal. Game now tied 1-1. This game was crazy throughout, that it ended up going into a shootout. And in the shootout, Wayne Simpson has a chance to win it for the Amherst, and he does just that, beating Toronto goalie Jeff Glass. Amherst win this one 5-4 in a shootout, and Chris Taylor shared his thoughts on the win.
It was a good game. I'm happy that obviously we got 2 points against us. They're a good team, and I'm just not happy how we finished or even how we started in some aspects of the game and some of the other details of our game tonight. But yeah, we got 2 points and very happy with that.
Back at the Blue Cross Arena Saturday as the RIT men's hockey team played their annual homecoming game versus Colgate. First period, RIT lights the lamp first. Dan Willett finds Eric Brown for the goal. RIT up 1-0. Later in the period, Gabe Valenzuela, he takes it and shoots it into the back of the net. RIT up 2-0. But not even a minute later, as time winds down in the first period, Sean Cameron fires a shot and catches the Colgate goalie off guard. RIT would lead 3-0 after the first period. The second period now, Brown, right place, right time for the Tigers. Brown is right there, and he would score this one as he gets knocked down. RIT takes down Colgate 6-1, the final. Brown and head coach Wayne Wilson shared their thoughts on this big win.
To be honest, it feels even better to get my first homecoming win. It's my senior year, and that's what we wanted to accomplish today was that win. And it didn't come necessarily easy. We got into penalty trouble in parts of the game, and we didn't play our best in other parts of the game as well. Like the coach was saying, sloppy puck management and stuff like that. But we were able to hold on to the lead, and that's something we need to focus on and keep trying to do over the course of the season.
Very happy with the play of our first. Very disappointed with our play in the second. We took a lot of penalties, and the good part of it is they didn't score. So as much as I was upset with taking the penalties, they were demoralized from not scoring. So it kept things kind of neutral there. They couldn't really get any momentum. If they even had some good chances, I think they could have got some momentum and got themselves back in the game, if not, better yet, if they would have scored.
All right, John, so this past weekend, we were at the Blue Cross Arena. We've seen a couple of good games there. We saw the Amherst take down the Calder Cup champions, the Toronto Marlies, and we saw RIT put on a show dominating Colgate 6-1. So what are your thoughts so far on hockey in Rochester now?
Well, so far, what a dominating start for these two beloved teams in the Rochester area. Love to see RIT get off to a great start because the Tigers, they've had the problem early in the season, the last couple of seasons, and they haven't contended. And the Amherst, of course, looking to build off of that momentum from last season. So very exciting to see. And you were at the RIT game, so
I was.
I'm sure you have some thoughts to share on
Yeah,
that.
what I can say is it was packed. The Blue Cross Arena was full. There were like 10,556 people, I think, almost exactly. I'm not sure exactly. There were over 10,500 people there, I can confirm. It was really packed. Hard to see everything, but it was a lot of fun to say. And Eric Brown, the captain of RIT, he put on a real good show, having a hat trick that game. A lot of fun. And you can see it, how we showed in the highlights, 3-0 after a first period. That's pretty tough to do in hockey, but RIT pulled it off. And really, I'd say to walk out of the Blue Cross Arena with a win like that, that was amazing. And one other thing I can mention, too, that we didn't show in the highlights, but I will tell you this. As I was leaving, there were a bunch of school buses outside the Blue Cross Arena to take everyone back to RIT after the game. So it was a pretty intense game, I'd say. And now on for the Amherst, what I'll say is they're doing really well, as you said, too. Like, they beat Toronto, a tough team to beat. They did it, but we'll see how they do later on because they're going to be playing Syracuse, their biggest rival soon. So
Certainly looking to keep that momentum going and looking to make Rochester once again the hockey town that it once was and continues to be with those two almost professional teams
in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of winter sports, as the season now shifts to the winter sports season, one team, well, they will not be competing in this winter sports season. The Colgate men's swimming and diving team has been suspended for the remainder of the fall 2018 season and their winter training trip after an investigation revealed that the team violated the university's anti-hazing policies. According to the Colgate Maroon News, the team was found to be doing forced alcohol consumption, which can be considered hazing. With the suspension now posed, Colgate's men's swimming will miss the last 10 days of competition on their schedule and will also miss the Terrier Invitational at Boston University and the USA Winter Swimming National Championships. The team will resume competition at the Buffalo Diving Invite in January at the University at Buffalo. So definitely not good news on that front. Hazing is something that needs to be taken seriously, and it's good that it was taken seriously in this situation. Obviously, zero tolerance for anything like that.
I think this is a good message to show for any athletes watching the program today. I got to say, hazing will not be tolerated no matter where you're going. So I think it's good. Like what happened in Colgate, it could happen here in Brockport, though. So if you're a Brockport athlete watching us today, I'd say be careful what you do. Limit your alcohol. Be very, very mindful of what your decisions, because what happened in Colgate, you don't want it happening to you. And that Colgate swim team, like that one mistake really let the whole team down. So I got to say, be very careful.
I would add, though, that our Brockport student athletes are some of the most people with the most integrity, I should say, and that will certainly hopefully prevent anything like that from happening at this wonderful institution.
No matter where you go, whether you're a Brockport student or where you're watching us, hazing is not going to be tolerated. So be very careful what you do, and just don't do any dumb decisions, is what I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of Eagle Talk, but do not go anywhere throughout the season for all your Section 5, Brockport, Amherst, RIT action. Stay with us. We've got you covered throughout the season. And, of course, be sure to follow us on all our social media channels. I'm Ben Vahey.
And I'm John Goehring.
Thank you for watching.